People of the internet, how you doing? Having a good day? Well, let's ruin that for you. I'm that King Guy, and today on Total Cult Zone Presents, I'm joined by Nona as we talk coffee, cake, and Cannibal Mukbang.
These are my favorite flavor.
It's mine too.
Why?
What do you do?
I eat stuff online.
You mukbang?
Oh my god!
I met this girl last night. She's amazing.
What's so special about this one, huh?
She's kind of off in a captivating, quirky way.
Did you know that when I'm near you, my entire body gets tingly?
How did you cook this? This is like beyond good.
Secret family recipe. I told you I'd have to kill you.
So how do you say croissants?
It's croissants. Don't you stop! Literally turned on to record just to hear me say the word croissants.
Croissant.
It's croissant.
How do you say bagel?
Bagel.
It's bagel.
Is it? No, it's not. Don't stop.
It's supposed to be bagel.
Is it?
Bagel. Yeah.
Bagel.
Bagel.
I don't like that.
You don't want bagels.
It genuinely, that actually makes my brain hurt. Bagel. Who calls it a bagel? I don't like that. I don't like that. I liked baked goods, but that would make me never want to eat a
Bagel. You're only going to say it as bagel now, aren't you?
bagel again.
Yeah. It's always going to be bagel.
I'm going to subconsciously, every time I go, I'm going to be like, oh, look at that cinnamon and raisin bagel. That makes it sound worse.
Just broken you.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, that's not a hard task. We know this. I'm a very easily broken person.
Welcome to the Coffee and Cake podcast, where we learn about all things coffee and cake. And occasionally, we talk about film.
We start off every single time, except I don't have coffee this morning.
No coffee.
I
What's wrong with
have I have a Monster Ultra Peachy Keen energy drink.
Peachy Keen. Which one's is that? Like actually peach?
Yeah, it's a peach one. It's
Oof.
nice. It's nice.
I was disappointed the other day. I went in the shops. I'm like, I really want a cherry relentless, but they've stopped selling relentless. It's just all Monster now.
Yeah, Relentless and Monster are owned by the same people, though.
So why are they not making more cherry relentless? That's not the best flavour.
I don't know, because I'm exactly the same as you in that I think Cherry Relentless is the best flavour. It's genuinely good. I just wish they did a sugar-free version. Because I only really buy sugar-free ones. I'm sweet enough, as my mum would tell me.
I'm off and I've got to go to the dentist next week. I'm being nice and like not touching much sugar. That's possibly why I'm losing weight so much.
Just that, like I say this like I didn't smash a knockoff bag of peanut M&Ms the other day. So I was like, oh, I'll just have a few, it'll be fine. Whole bag gone.
Are they called NMMs? NMMs?
I don't actually recall what these were called. I don't think they were called that though.
Yeah, it's a bit too close to enema.
Yeah, no one really wants that. It's just like well, some people might, and I'm not going to kink shame. Some people might want that as a special treat. I ain't gonna kink shame on that.
We've got King Shane this week. We've got mukbang stuff. Mukbang ASMR. Oof.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I stayed up until like 2 a.m. watching this.
I applaud your efforts. No one else will. I'll applaud them.
Someone had to.
Yeah, I've got no cake today to review. I've got coffee though. Coffee.
I had my croissant. So, but what coffee do you have today? Is it the good stuff again from the little coffee place you were talking about last time?
No, this is from the Blue Coffee Box, which is my subscription service for this year. Jane always picks me up a subscription service for coffee, and today's one is Rongo AB from Roots Coffee.
Ooh.
It's quite nice. It's notes of chocolate, blackberry, and floral. which not usually keen on floral stuff, but I don't really pick it up that much. It's more chocolatey and velvety. It's quite nice.
Just coffee.
Yeah. Yesterday though, I did do something which not proud of. I'm into smoothies at the moment.
Oh God.
I bought a new smoothie maker. So
Yeah.
it's like recipes you can do for vegan cheesecake. I thought that'd be good. I need a smoothie maker though. So I got back into smoothies. So it's like bananas, strawberries we eat in the garden, blackberries
Yeah.
get in the garden, and peanut butter. I got some of that man life peanut butter. Is it man life? I always read it as man life anyway. It's like it's super roast smooth one, goes really well in smoothies.
Oh,
It's
I
down
think
to the-
I've seen some of the ones that they're more like a runny peanut butter than a peanut butter. I think because I've bought one before for coffee, iced coffee.
Yeah, I know it goes in coffee occasionally, but it was down to the dregs, and I just poured the coffee into the
no.
jar, shook it.
Oh no.
It was filthy.
Oh God.
It was absolute filth. I would both recommend and not recommend.
It's fine if you want to feel disgusting afterwards.
It was lovely, and then they got to the bottom, and it was just thick peanut butter congealed with coffee. I was like, this is disgusting, and I just carried on drinking it anyway.
I mean, I probably would have done the same, to be honest. Waste not, want not.
That's your recommend for this week. Yeah, coffee with peanut butter, lots of it.
Do you know what? It is good. I've done that before with iced coffee. I used like it was a drizzle peanut butter and then choc shot, if you've heard of that. It's like
I
all
think I've seen it.
natural. You can use it to make like dairy-free vegan hot chocolate, but it's like sugar-free. It's made of like fruits and stuff, right? I tend to drizzle that and mix that with my iced coffee. It's very good, but yeah, you have to get the levels right, otherwise you do end up with the thick peanut butter. I'm just drinking peanut butter concoction.
So you'll stand there with, or sit there with like the cup hanging upside down for about a minute as it slowly
Yeah, so it
rolls down.
slowly like dribbles down the edge. This is the perfect conversation to get into mukbanging, but maybe
Yeah.
not quite the same mukbang.
No. I mean, it gives away the title, really, doesn't it?
I mean, yes, but also kind of no. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So, bit of the press. You got cannibal, any animal that eats its own kind. Mukbang, a video usually posted online featuring a person eating large quantities of food, often while talking to the audience, as if sharing a meal with them. Shy and looking for love, Mark quickly becomes smitten with the outgoing and a mysterious Ash, who somehow, much to his surprise, reciprocates the attraction. But as his feelings for her intensify, so does his unexpected submersion into Ash's biggest love, the wild world of mukbanging, and with it, lots of bloodshed. Cannibal Mukbang is directed by Aimee Kuge. It's a debut feature film. It explores our relationship with food, sexuality, and revenge, and asks how far would you go in the name of love. Aimee wrote the script for Cannibal Mukbang while experiencing a period of disordered eating and ending toxic relationships. This disordered eating led her down a mukbang rabbit hole. It is a female-driven story, directed, written, produced, and edited by women. Production took place in New York, New Jersey, and Florida with a small crew of indie filmmakers. A portion of the footage was shot on 8mm film. And that is the press.
Is there no? What was the budget?
I don't think there was a budget on that. It's small.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, I'm in the nicest possible way. That's very noticeable. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. I think be prepared to notice that part. There was a lot of silicone. A lot of silicone.
I thought you meant like in the sets, very small crew, small cast.
I think the cast itself wasn't necessarily an issue. I don't think you needed there to be a massive cast for this kind of thing. it came down to a lot of the effects and what they were trying to achieve. And some of it was so noticeable that they'd gone to like freaking Spirit Halloween and just, gone ham on all of the fake limbs. Which for me kind of took it out a little bit. I don't think there needed to be. Some of it did, like, I'm not going to add a spoiler here, but there was one particular scene that happened, and when the camera panned out, it did add to the absurdity. But otherwise, I think, like, there were certainly parts where it was incredibly noticeable. And I will talk about one of them in the spoilers, because you will know exactly what I mean when I say it.
Yeah, I think this is one of those films which it had a very video nasty vibe to it. In terms of the press, so you can see the poster in the show notes and the show art. I'll post it in there. It looks like a video nasty. The premise is very video nasty, and it would have worked better if it's on a VHS type quality, because those effects wouldn't have been as noticeable. I've got this argument with a lot of horror films, is like, if you downgrade the quality a little bit, it improves the film.
Black and white. Black and white. Shoot those bits across in black and white. Mix it up a bit. Like you said, lower the quality. Like, those things would have absolutely looked a hell of a lot better.
The 8mm film footage they did, that would have worked great for those scenes. If they just threw the 8mm film footage into all those special effects sections and almost elevated those parts to being the specific type of scene. It's just for those scenes, it would have worked really well. Because those bits that actually went like full on video nasty style. Yeah. That was like possibly the best bit of it. But then the rest of the film is, well, if it wasn't called Cannibal Mukbang and he didn't have that art, the first 30 minutes of it, you would have thought it was a completely different film.
Bow. Bow, bow. That's all I thought at various points.
Yeah, it's a love story, romance type thing, and like a lo-fi mumblecore romance film.
I'll be honest, I found the first, like, that first half an hour boring. I know that sounds kind of potentially cruel, but I think because it didn't really, it took too long to introduce people. And it didn't need to. Like, that first initial scene and then kind of what happens after, they could have had it all pretty much wrapped up in a 20-minute, in fact not even 20-minute montage of like, they meet, this is what happens, this is how it goes, suddenly we're into the film. It was just slow. I don't know, I find it really slow.
I think one of the main issues I had with it was the film is too long.
I agree with that too, yeah.
Yeah, it was the main issue until the last act. This is very long. It could have been snappier. It's an hour and 40. I think you could have lost 20 minutes easily. Yeah,
same. There was just bits in there that felt a bit like filler.
But yeah, the first 30 minutes is, I'd say it's like a indie romance film. Everything's lit by fairy lights, which, like I say, it's a low budget kind of thing. It creates an atmosphere of the manic pixie dream girl stuff, which they do play on a little bit.
Yeah, they do, but I will say this, I want to know who the fuck built the fort. I want the set design for that, because I fucking want to build one myself. That looked like a killer fucking fort.
Yeah, I appreciate that they called it out, and it's like, okay, fair enough. The self-referential.
Yeah, they did, but I didn't. I felt like that was purposeful, like a purposeful. Yeah, we're aware, and I again, like, it just. We know, right? How. Because I've had these conversations actually, particularly with my other half, about the fact that mukbang, particularly in certain areas of the internet is more to do with kink than anything else. So we know where it originates from, but also know how Western culture has a habit of turning it into something else. And that is absolutely what she was doing when she was making the videos, right? Like you could tell that from the silly noises and the squelching and everything else, because splooshing exists, people. People are into this kind of shit, that some people are feeders, right? We know all this stuff, right?
Mm.
And I don't know if they should have just played into it more. If I'm being honest, they could have really ramped that part up. Because some of the changes in the tone and the mood didn't make sense. The ha ha ha, look at me, I'm so great. And then the I'm just really fucking hungry part didn't make sense to me. It was too much of a switch. And in reality, I think we as the audience should have known before, because that would have made a lot of sense then. It was not going to be a twist. The film is called Cannibal Mukbang. We knew what was coming. So in reality, if we'd have known beforehand and seen her doing that, to then have him meet her, we could have been like, well, this is going to get really fucking messy.
Yeah, the name of the film betrays it almost. It sort of says what's going to happen, and then the first 30 minutes it's very slow. Like you say,
Yeah.
I didn't mind that to a certain extent, but then if it was called something else, I didn't know that was going to come, it would have worked a lot better. But you're expecting it, so it's why.
Which is why not just let us know as the audience that this is actually what she does.
Yeah, kick it off with like straight up her doing it.
Yeah, her prepping it, eating it, and then
the cliche thing with films these days where it's like you kick it off with something big. So you have her killing someone, eating someone, or you don't actually show her doing it. It could be like assuming it could be someone else maybe doing it.
Yeah.
But have it at least in there.
Yeah.
Kick it off in the first 5 minutes and then do the title.
Let us in on the secret.
Yeah, then you introduce Mark and his weird life.
With the thing on the back of his head.
Which I thought would come into it more. Because he has that on the back of his head and she runs him over by accident. And you're thinking those two things are going to come back into play. Like, did she do it on purpose?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it? Because, like, given her reasoning for why she does what she does, I don't.
Yeah, and his whole job with the customer service for food delivery prep system that's definitely not Blue Apron.
Yeah. Let's not forget the red pepper flakes are optional.
Which, again, is something they could have played into it a bit more.
They could have, yeah, they absolutely could have. I think this is the thing, right? The fleshing out of the characters felt shit. If I'm putting a word on it, it felt shit. We knew he had a therapist, and there wasn't really a lot going into that. I don't feel like we got some idea of why, but there wasn't a lot going into that either. My other half said he often sounded like he was high. Which I would kind of agree with. And to me, that doesn't... I know it's probably supposed to be a depiction of this guy being heavily into her, but it didn't really come across that way. It came across high.
It comes like wishy-washy to me. Like, is he into her or is he not into her?
Yeah.
He's an irritating character where it's like, just commit to it. She's a cute redhead who's into you. Go with it.
She needed to be more bewitching for me to find him being into her convincing. And he needed to be more obsessed for me to be convinced that she was bewitching. Like there was not a lot from both sides in terms of like even down to the moment when we find out those three little words can scare a person away.
Mm.
And it's not, I want to eat humans. That's more than three words. I eat humans. There we go. That was three. But those weren't the words that made him run away, weirdly.
No, it's the cliche words again. It's
Yeah. Yeah, and it was just a bit shit. That
but yeah,
part.
he's kind of admitted he's into her at that point. So I don't see why they would have scared him away because he's the
Me
one
neither.
wanting to go into the relationship more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the only character that's clear in it was his older brother, who's the douchey older brother called Maverick, and you can tell he's a douche because he's called Maverick.
I have issues even with Maverick.
Yeah, but he's the clearest character in it in terms of he's a
It's clear that he's a
douche,
dickhead,
and
but
you know
I
what's going to happen
will,
to him in it. It's obvious what's going to
yeah,
happen.
yeah, but I will say this. The ending where we knew what was going to happen, the reasons didn't make sense to me. Now, that's
Sure.
not me saying that, it isn't plausible, but for me, there wasn't enough build-up of Maverick being that much of a dickhead for me to, like, when she was reeling it all off, I was like, huh?
Hmm.
Like, I, I, I mean, I knew something bad was coming, but like, that is what he was doing.
Yeah, we get to the spoiler zone on that one. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's I didn't mind it up until the last act. I think the fact that it took so long to get into it, I'm like, okay, this is fine. It would have been better if it was called something different and advertised as something different or
Yeah.
presented a different way.
Everyone needed to be harder on what their characters were. Maverick needed to be more of a douchebag. Ash needed to have much more of the mukbanging stuff in it. And I forgot what his name is. Mark, is
Mark,
it?
yeah,
Mark needed to be more hardcore obsessed.
mm,
And I think that was kind of the issue for me. There wasn't, it was all very, I mean, I would have got up and walked out of that restaurant right there and then. Like, you know, there's not been enough here for me to see anything other. Like, yeah.
yeah. It's an interesting idea of taking like a internet trend, mixing with some tired horror tropes. You know, the revenge fantasy of punishing only the bad guys.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
it's just
I
Dexter these
think
days. Everyone has Dexter. But then adding in the cannibal genre, maybe a bit step too far on that one. It's like going, yeah,
there's
it's
bits of
messy.
it that were that I think if you're going to do it, you have to just take ownership of it.
Mm,
This whole I just crave human meat stuff just didn't work for me. Like that part just that was stupid. Like just say it how it is. I like, I think it's exo cannibalism, which is where because there's technically two types if you take away Western and survival. They're called endo and exo cannibalism.
mm,
Um, and is it endo cannibalism actually? Where if you've got opposing tribes and for fight and honor, they will kill the other person that is in the opposite tribe, and they will cut a piece of their body off to eat it to show dominance. They could have just leaned into the dominant side of it. Like that literally that's what she was doing it for. She wasn't doing it because I crave humans. She's not Hannibal Lecter. Like let's not get this twisted. She enjoyed the dominance of taking away people who were bad's lives and eating them. And had they just leaned into that rather than created this weird, and I do kind of get it, in terms of maybe for parts of the story, but it was so fucking unnecessary for other parts. Like, it just didn't make sense to me.
yeah,
My
I hear
stomach's
that.
rumbling though as I'm sat here.
I did
Like,
hear that. I was
yeah,
like,
it's my stomach going, yeah, we want food. You've had croissants. What more do you fucking want?
what's bagels? Yeah, I think the best part for me was the 8mm video nasty type footage, which explains the backstory. Again, that kind of sits weirdly with the rest of the film, but
Yeah,
subverting expectations, going all in on something could have been placed a bit better in the film. Could have been maybe a bit
it needed to be
earlier.
more absurd. That's what it was for me. More
Yeah,
absurd. Just make it weirder. The weirder you go with something, the better it's going to be, in my view.
yeah, because that one had like a tinge of reality to it, which you're doing a film called Cannibal Mukbang.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
it needed to just be make it as wild and as absurd as possible. The one part I really enjoyed was the montage.
you'd like a montage.
I do, but I enjoyed it because that part was like completely nuts. Like, but that could have been the whole fucking film, in fairness.
Could have had a musical number.
Yeah, I mean, I'm back to thinking about
Up to their face.
moving flaps again.
Yeah, I don't think a complete loss of a film, but it's one that's I think spoiled by the ending, and we'll get into that to the spoiler zone.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
really done it for me.
yeah.
So
I agree.
yeah. So where can we find you online? Blah 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 blah.
Blue Sky, Nona Goth, two Fs because I'm British. I'm British in it, bruv.
Preaching it. Shops at Lidl. Buys knock off M&Ms.
Lidl, Aldi, you know. My,
Happy shopper.
my, so my partner's German, and whenever I say Lidl or Aldi, he tells me it's wrong. He tells me it's Lidl and Aldi. He's just shaking his head at me because I'm butchering German.
He's right though.
What, that it's Lidl?
Yeah.
Don't you start joining in on this. It's bad enough that he's taught the 9-year-old about it. Because now if I say we're going to go to the shops, he goes, "Oh, we're going to Lidl?" And I'm like, in the dustbin with all of you.
That's me. You can find me at totalboxfan.com. All the usual social stuff is on there. Due to be updated soon. I'm working on that still. If you buy me a coffee, that'd be nice. Coffee or some cake or some
Preferably one that's not floral.
yeah. Or Trek protein flapjacks Biscoff flavour, which is quite nice.
Ooh.
Today because I couldn't get any cakes yesterday.
Mm,
Yeah, Biscoff one's lovely.
I do like Biscoff.
What if you put some coffee in a jar of Biscoff?
That would probably be absolutely banging. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe that's on the
Find out.
list.
I'll find out about that one next time.
Wait for that film.
Because I've watched the trailer so many times.
Teasing something that may not happen. Because the last few times I've asked for films, they went, "No, we haven't got them." Oh, bollocks. Don't tease me. Anyway, spoiler zone coming up.
do, 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 do.
I suppose this is the spoiler zone. If you don't want the film ruined completely, because it will be, turn it off now.
Yeah, because I can't keep my mouth shut.
Okay, big finale is Ash and Mark having sex. In the
Yep.
throes of passion, she says she loves him. Those three
Yep.
words. Which weirds him out because men.
Because he can't be close to anyone.
Cause
He's
of the
so
way
dark
said,
and brooding.
and stoned.
Yeah, I mean, 100% that's how it fucking came across.
Yeah, it didn't feel like there was any reason for him to be scared of it. You know, she's already admitted she kills and eats people.
But it's not just that
Hiding
part.
bodies with her own, disposing of bodies. It's very much a case of you've committed at this point. It's almost like buying a house.
Yeah, it wasn't just that part. Like for me, like the part that I think kind of that didn't make a lot of sense was that for somebody who was so against being close to anyone, was so obsessed with her straight away,
Hmm.
and was checking his phone and was dreaming about her and all of this kind of stuff, like it didn't make a lot of sense. Is he avoidant attachment? Because if that's the case, he would just be like, yeah, no, sorry, bye. Like, and the way that the mood shifted just because she said something like that, I don't know, I just didn't buy it. He looked pissed off more than he did anything else. He looked angry. Like, how dare she say I love you?
Yeah, and he does it on the insistence of his brother, who comes off as a douche up until that point. We find out, he's actually quite a nice guy, and then you find out he's not a nice guy.
Who, Maverick?
Yeah, Maverick. Who would have thought?
I struggled with Maverick. The ending part where
The thing that you know is going to happen happens.
happens, and then she's listing off all the things that he's done.
Yeah, and you've not seen it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not that I needed to see it, but it'd been nice to have had more of an inclination.
Yeah, it comes at the point he's kind of a douche, and you're like, okay, he's obviously done some dodgy stuff, but to that level. And then
Yeah.
the kicker is,
It's children.
mm,
And yet, whenever we've seen Maverick, he's either been around fully grown adult women or his own children. Now, I'm not saying that, like, obviously, like, we know that there are a lot of people out there who keep these things incredibly hidden away, and we know that, right?
mm,
But I don't know how much we as an audience should have known a little bit more about Maverick. Because, like you said, we knew he was a dickhead. We knew that he wasn't happy with his wife. But to that extent, we didn't know that part.
and then the thing that really got me was the fact that Mark doesn't even need to know that part. He just sees him assaulting her.
Yeah, and he doesn't, he's still,
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
just make him a fucking smear on the floor, which is what
yeah,
I would
because
be doing.
yeah, same. It wouldn't have mattered who's, whether they were related to me or not. I would have absolutely pulverized them.
Hmm. And then the bad guy gets away. Sorry,
And the
quote
what?
marks bad guy. The bad guy gets away, quote marks. As in,
Oh, yeah.
Maverick gets
Can-
away because
can
it's like
we-
we don't know he's a bad guy.
Can we talk about the funny part of him running with his hands tied up, though? Because I was in fucking stitches just seeing this guy trying to run with his hands tied up. And then you see him pick up his fucking ear. It was so dumb. It was so dumb. Yeah. And it ended very abruptly after that, I think. Yeah.
I don't know where they could have taken after that though. It's just the bad guy gets away.
Yeah.
Mark's an idiot, and you know
Yeah.
what happens with her because now she's been outed and he's been out. Yeah, it's a mess. I'll say I
Yeah.
was okay with the film up until that point. It was a bit too long, bit skewed in terms of tonally. It was a bit off, but I'm like, okay, this if you did another edit of this, it'd be fine. Cut it down in time.
Yeah.
It's here and now. And then in that last scene was like, I've never been more annoyed with an ending in a long, well, not for a long time anyway.
Yeah, because it wasn't, and again, like I think it's because of the fact that there was so much realism added into it,
Hmm.
and it didn't work. I understand the disbelief, and I would understand the wanting to beg somebody, but when you have like that would be if you hadn't seen that happen, when he had. And that's where for me it was like, nah, he would have been served up on a fucking in a frying pan straight away. Like that would have been the end of that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The other part in the spoilers that I wanted to talk about was the first death where she broke his arm. And the lovely flap of silicone that was very apparent. That arm, that wasn't an arm. That was very clearly some silicone limb.
So I don't know if you ever tried to break an arm that way.
I mean, I haven't. I'll be very real with you. It's not
Is
something I do
she
on a weekend.
super strong.
Yeah, I think that was the other thing of it, like
'Cause
that.
she can take a lot of abuse.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know it is possible for certain things. So, like, it is possible to technically bite through your own finger. Your teeth and your jaw is strong enough to be able to bite through bone and flesh, right?
Mm.
That is a fact. Every other part, though, because I did go through a stage of wondering if she was like a succubus, you know, like in Jennifer's Body.
Mm.
And I do wonder whether that would have worked better.
It definitely would.
Because that's what I initially thought that she was.
Because she's like, say, takes a beating, and it's like that's if you're
Yeah.
going for realism, getting beaten up like she does in her first fight, it's like, yeah, she's taken a lot out, and that would have taken most people out. Like,
Yeah.
and then she just get back up and breaks his arm, and
Yeah.
every other fight she gets into as well. It's very much a case of she's almost superhuman.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why initially I was like, is that what she is? Like, which would have made sense, right? That would have made sense for her then to hide amongst society, you know, pretending to eat lots of food, which is
Yeah, and
actually
maybe
human.
when they're having sex, she shows a true image to him, which freaks him out, which makes the whole reaction a bit stronger, and there's a reason for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could have fixed it.
Yeah, I'm sad that this wasn't like I am sad it wasn't as good as I had hoped. The trailer again kind of made it look better, I think, than it was, which is kind of where the disappointment, I think, sets in. But that sometimes is the case. Let's be honest, like sometimes you can watch a trailer and the trailer ends up being better than everything that happens in the movie. You could probably watch the trailer and have a firm grasp on what is going to happen without even seeing the movie.
So just watch the trailer and then the montage.
Yeah, the montage and then just skip to probably the last 10 minutes. Movie done.